Alright guys, it's time to preview Roger Federer vs Stan the Man Wawrinka. We're at the semifinals, the final four of the 2017 Australian Open, and I'm super excited. I think all tennis fans are super excited, especially knowing that there's a chance we're going to get that dream final of Roger Federer versus Rafa Nadal. But before we get into any of that, let's focus on previewing this match. Stan the Man versus Roger Federer. The two Swiss rolls. Here's the first stat we're talking about, 18-3. Roger Federer has an 18-3 record over Stan in their careers. That's pretty good, and what's even worse for Stan, if you're a Stan fan, three of those, the three wins for Stan, all on clay. And this is not clay. This is the Australian Open. This is a hard court. And this year, the players and the coaches are all saying that the court is playing really fast, a lot faster than usual. So all this is great news for Federer, who loves the fast courts. And like I said, Stan's wins over Fed, all on clay, much slower play. The last time they did play, however, on a hard court in a big match was 2015 US Open, same spot, the semifinals. And Federer took care of business, 6-4, 6-3, 6-1, and I got a hint at it. I think we might see a scoreline like that again. I'm sorry if you love Stan the Man, but let's talk about a match where Federer did play someone kind of like a Stan the Man. At least out of all the opponents Federer's faced this year at the Aussie, who has been comparable? Not really anyone. The closest is Berdych. Thomas Berdych is a pretty big hitter. His ball is not going to be quite the same as Stan's. I think Stan gets a little more action on the ball. Stan might hit the ball even harder. Who knows? I mean, Stan blasts the ball. Federer said himself in his post-match interview after he beat Misha Zverev, I think that was where Federer said that Stan's one of the biggest hitters, or I think he even said he is the biggest hitter in the game of tennis. So, we can't compare with that, but Berdych does hit it pretty big, and this is what Federer did against Berdych. 95%, 59%. That's how often he won on first serve. 95% of his first serves, he won the point. 59% on second serve, Federer won the point. That tells me Federer's handling the first strike tennis, and that's what he's going to need to do against Stan. If you're winning 95% of the time, that tells me Federer, and he didn't hit a whole lot of aces in that match. That tells me that Federer is using his serve to set himself up to win the point right away with, most of the time, I'm guessing one forehand. One serve, one forehand, and get into the net. You might have to hit one more shot to finish it off, but the forehand probably finished off. That's what Federer's always been great at doing. That's why he's been so good at Wimbledon, where the courts play pretty fast and the ball stays low. Federer's able to set himself up with the serve, and oftentimes the way he returns, he's able to block the biggest serve. I remember him doing the Andy Roddick all the time. Block those huge serves back and float them all the way to Andy's feet, and then attack on the next shot. Hit him on the next shot. That's what Federer is going to do against Stan, and there's been a lot of talk about that. So there's been a lot of talk about the 0-4 length rallies. So rallies, points that were completed in less than 4 shots. 2 shots on each side of the net, and 74% of the points that Federer's played in this tournament have been less than 4 or 4 or less shots. 0-4, and Stan's been good at it too. He's took care of things fast. He's had a lot of first strike tennis because 68% of the time he's had a 0-4 length rally on all of his points. And then here is the plus 104 for Federer, plus 71 for Stan. And what does that tell me? That Federer's just a little bit better at it. I think he's going to be a little bit better at first strike. I think his swings take a little less time. It's more compact backswing on his forehand than Stan. And I think that's not going to work for Stan. The court's playing fast. There's a few things that Stan could hope for. He could hope that they're playing a little bit later. They're playing after the women's semifinals tonight. So he can hope that the weather cools off and the balls get fluffed up and they move real slow through the court. That would definitely favor Stan. That would replicate the conditions of a French Open, of a clay court match. So that's going to help Stan. But I still think the way they've said that these courts are playing pretty fast, maybe they're getting slower in the evening, yes, but still it's going to be fast enough for Federer to get to work on it and focus on what he does best, first strike tennis. Plus, it's against his fellow Swiss player, Stan, who he's kind of overshadowed. And I know Stan's won some majors now, and I'm sure it's not what it used to be, but I still think Federer has the mental advantage over Stan. You know how Stan likes to point to his head and look at his coach. Well, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that against Federer tonight. So anyways, if Stan's going to win, we all know he can blow anyone off the court with that power, and he could literally blow Roger Federer right off the court, and I could be totally wrong, but I'm calling it. I think Federer's going to win in straight sets, and it's going to be fairly similar to that U.S. Open match. Maybe it goes down in 4, but I think Federer wins something along the lines of 7-5, 6-4, 6-3. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and be sure to check out Pete's post-match analysis right after the match is over. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, give it a comment, give us a subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt from Crunch Time Coaching, and I will see you guys after this match for the next one.